Welcome to Belmont Park Live. Saratoga is in our rearview mirror. Lots of great racing coming up at Belmont Park this fall for the championship meet. Andy Serling joined by Paul LaDuca. Paul, how are you today?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Good to be here at Belmont Park. We've got some great racing today. 4 races from Belmont Park, 2 from Kentucky Downs. The 2 races from Kentucky Downs will be part of a cross-country pick 4. Races 6 and 7 at Kentucky Downs. Races 8 and 9 at Belmont Park, the 4 races that we'll be covering at Belmont Park today. Starting out with our 6th race, 1.25 miles, 1 lap around the inner turf course here at Belmont Park. These are maidens. 6.5 furlong dirt race, the 7th race. That'll kick off the late pick 4. Of course, the 6th race kicks off the Naira Bets late pick 5. Race number 8, 7 furlongs to the Widener turf course, a wide open claiming race, and then we'll be on the inner turf for an excellent allowance race to close it out. And keep in mind, track conditions are brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray. And as Paul well knows, Piranha Fly Spray, Piranha on, pests gone. The field for race number 6 here at Belmont Park. We get right into it. As you can see, the number 3, Shariata for trainer Shug McGay. John Velasquez, the 7-5 favorite. Semper Sententiae, the number 6, could be the main competition. An interesting race to kick off the Naira Bets late pick 5. Goes out at 1.25 miles. Maggie Wolfendale, of course, is in the paddock. Horses are leaving the paddock as we begin Belmont Park Live. And Paul, did you put in a Naira Bets late pick 5 ticket?
Yeah, I did. And I thought this was a tough race. And I left off the horse that you like. And I know you like the 6 in here. I thought the 7, Bella, the outside horse, Bella Figura, I guess that's how you would say that.
The European invader for Christophe Clement.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with Beau Bell. That last race was confusing. Probably should have run. We'll get all the way to race number 10 because we got a post race to get to. I like a horse in there called the 6, Teachable Moment for Chad Brown, but we'll get to that. But yeah, there's my pick 5 ticket, $36.
$36, the Naira Bets late pick 5. Remember, the only way to play the Naira Bets late pick 5, if you're not in New York State, is through Naira Bets. Number 1, Windjammer, Rajiv Mirage, and Danny Gargan.
Probably the speed of the field in here. 0 for 14, does have 4 seconds and 3/3.
She'll be followed up by a long shot, a no point given for Greg Matisse.
She's really done no running. 72-1 last time out. They've added blinkers. They've tried everything. She's 38-1 today.
Pablo Fragoso has the mount on that long shot. The number 3, the favorite, Shariata, goes out for Shug McGay and John Velasquez.
Yeah, the favorite off her last run when she got going really late, and she seems like a horse that will really like a little bit bigger turns here at Belmont.
$1 Million Dam, J-Ray, her full, Frankly J-Ray from the great sire, Frankel, Michelle Nevin, and Manny Franco.
Yeah, 30-1 on the morning line. She ran 4 out of 5 and 8 out of 10 in her first 2 races by the great Frankel. But I don't know if she has as much talent or near the talent as the great Frankel.
Probably not as good as Frankel.
Yeah.
He didn't want 1.25 miles anyway. The 5 is Beau Bell, Tommy Albertrani, and Javier Castellano looking for his 4th win already today.
Yeah, he's hot. He just had a real skiing ride in the last race. This filly looked home last time, and she got wore down by War Cabinet. This is going to be very interesting whether she can run that same race again.
Number 7, Bella Figura, Christophe Clement, first time in the country, David Cohen.
Yeah, the Invader, the horse she's run some good races, 3/3 out of 6 starts, and a 2nd place finish, so an unknown here.
Number 6, Semper Sententiae, goes out for Mark Hennig, a trainer switch to Mark Hennig, Dylan Davis.
Yeah, 27-1 first time out. She sort of ran evenly, but now the switch to Mark Hennig, and the daughters and sons of the Factor, even though he was not a turf horse, they like it on the green.
Well, the good news is you're not going to just be stuck with Paul and I today. Last but not least on our team is Maggie Wolfendale, and she is standing by in the winner's circle.
Not quite prepared for the conditions either, Andy, as a little bit of rain is starting to fall here. As we'll take a look at your current favorite, and that's number 3, Chariata in here, and catching up with trainer Shug McGay. He had said when she ran up in Saratoga that he felt as though she would prefer Belmont because she is such a big, rangy filly. That she is, and she does get to Belmont here. She gets 1.25 miles, which I think is ideal. And boy, She looks like the horse to beat 100%. She's fitter than what she was going back to that effort up at the spa. She possesses great energy. She was on her toes. Her coat looks fantastic. I love everything about her. But as Shug said, and what I'm a little bit leery of is she gonna handle this course with some give in it? Because she is that big, heavier type, they don't tend to get over this surface quite as well as firm going. Now moving on to number 6, that is Semper Sententia for Mark Henning this time around. And first time, she just looked a bit on the weaker side. She is kind of that more thinner type of build, a little more longer, elongated type of frame to her. And she just looked a little on the weaker side. Today, much stronger. Her hindquarters are filling out. And boy, was she moving very nicely here on the main track. So I love that kind of bounce she has to her stride. And since she is that lighter frame type of filly, she shouldn't have that much problem getting over this surface, nor should she have much problem getting the 1.25 miles. Now, number 7, Bella Figura, she has experience going this distance and on this type of ground. So right there, that puts her in a better position than a lot of these in here. And while she is on the smaller side, she's typical European type of filly. She was accompanied by the pony in the paddock, but she definitely did not make a wrong move whatsoever. She's been a professional, and really, she's the one, while we're not convinced of her form, at least we know she can handle these conditions, guys.
Thanks a lot, Maggie. Want to remind people, of course, Claiborne Farm, the sponsor of Belmont Park Live, 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. Paul, I want to talk a little bit about the 6, Semper Sententia.
Yeah, I was going to get into that, why you like that horse.
Well, you know, it's an interesting question from pedigree standpoint, right? You've got the factor as the sire, and you look at him and you say, I wouldn't take this horse at 1.25 miles in a million years. But then you see a German broodmare and you say, well, that horse may want to go 2 miles. So what do you do in a pedigree situation like that?
You know, I actually don't mind it because the factor was obviously a quick horse, and obviously you got the stamina on the bottom side. I like that mix. I don't like stamina over stamina, speed over speed. You obviously want the cross, yeah.
Well, we've got that cross here, and this is a horse I thought ran very well, sort of sneaky well in her debut, primarily because of the early stages. She's the number 7. Now, she'll break a little slowly, and that's not that surprising, and she's kind of back to last. Now, the horse outside of her, by the way, is worth noting his competition of ideas. We saw run off with a race. You see the rider, Florent Giroux, is steadying her a bit at this point. There's going to be a horse, the horse 3 off the rail is going to duck out and carry her out of the race. Effectively, Paul takes her out of the race.
Yeah, it does. That's
She's wide the whole way from there, and she only lost by 2.5 lengths, and she finished just a half length behind the eventual competition ideas, who finished 3rd. Now, I know it's an apples and oranges argument science, but we saw what competition of ideas did yesterday. Why can't this horse move forward in her second start in a big way?
No, I hear what you're saying. You know, I went back and forth. I like how she lowers her head. You know me with my head carriage. That's the one thing of watching so many replays. When you watch a horse lower their head and start to finish, she never stopped trying in the race. So I don't think the 1.25 miles is going to be an issue. Mark Hennig obviously doesn't. I wonder how this horse was purchased, if she ever was, or just transferred or not. She was 27-1 first time.
I think she's a homebred. I believe I could be wrong, but I actually think that the breeder of this horse and John O'Connor are related.
Okay,
there.
so yeah.
And John O'Connor, they have a lot of German-bred horses, and some decent ones have been running lately. That one that won in the dirt for Mark Hennig. But let's be honest, the favorite, the 3, who you've got on top,
course.
she's the horse to beat, Chariota.
No, she's the horse to beat. And like Maggie was saying, listen, Shug said she's going to like Belmont, and she ran like it. And but the upside on the 6 is there, just like the 3. Sometimes when you get in these situations, a lot of these trainers don't get this opportunity to stretch these horses out to this long of a distance at this young of an age. They like it.
And Shug had said in Saratoga to Gabby, Maggie was pointing that out as well, that she was a horse that was sort of built for Belmont Park. Did it bother you at all that Chariota finished behind Soar from Shadows, who ran so poorly yesterday when a distant 3rd?
A tiny bit, because Soar from Shadows got a good trip yesterday.
Now maybe she didn't handle the going, and there's a lot of give in the ground.
Yeah, there is.
And I think that's something to consider, because we've had a little bit of rain overnight. The mild showers now aren't affecting things, but some rain overnight. We'll see how things play out. A special treat for people today. Larry Colemas not here this weekend. We'll miss Larry, but John Imbrial ably filling in for Larry Colemas. Let's head upstairs to the call from Johnny I.
And they're all in line for this 6th race, as they go 1.25 miles on the inner turf. And they're off. And it's Bo Bell Down on the inside, Windjammer. From the outside, there goes Bella Figura and Semper Sententiae. Bella Figura has cleared the field and is in front as they race into the clubhouse turn. Bella Figura is the leader. Windjammer has moved to the outside, and Semper Sententiae is running in third. Bobel in fourth. Then Frankly J. Ray next in fifth. Chariota is sixth, and No Point Given trails the field in seventh. The quarter went in 24-1. Bella Figura leads here by a length, with Windjammer in pursuit in second and Semper Sententiae next in third. It's 2.5 lengths back to Bobel, who's running along in fourth. Down at the rail is Frankly J. Ray in fifth. Chariota in the clear on the outside in sixth, and it's a break of 4 or 5 lengths to No Point Given. The half up in 49 4/5 seconds, and the field is midway up the backstretch. Bella Figura leads by 3/4 of a length. Windjammer on the outside is second by almost 2. Semper Sententiae is next in third. Then it's Bobel running in fourth, followed by Frankly J. Ray, Chariota, and farther back, No Point Given. So positions are unchanged as they approach the far turn. 3/4 went in 1:15-3. Bella Figura still there on top by a half length. Windjammer runs in second. And Semper Sententiae is next in third. There goes Windjammer now. There goes Semper Sententiae. They both passed Bella Figura as they come for the top of the stretch. And it is Semper Sententiae who has the lead as they head for home. Semper Sententiae in front. Windjammer runs in second. Bobel is next in third. Chariota's on the outside in fourth with a furlong to the finish. Semper Sententiae in front. Bobel giving chase in second. And Chariota is third. But it will be Semper Sententiae to graduate, going 1.25 miles on Belmont's inner turf. Bobel was second, then Chariota, and farther back, Windjammer.
A race under her belt, and Semper Sententiae, much more professional today. She was able to stalk wide. Dylan Davis kept her out in the middle of the racetrack, Paul, and it was all she wrote.
Yeah, she really, didn't get off to the best beginnings and didn't get off to the best starts around the turn, but he got her to settle, and that's why going 1.25 miles, big help for her. He looked back at one point to take a look, at least the jockey on the one did, but Dylan had this race wrapped up. Bobel does what she usually does, rolls around here for second. The disappointing horse was the 3, Chariota, who just really never got involved at all in this race. Surprising the 7, the European horse, went straight to the front end in here, but good pick by you, Andy. This horse was much the best in here in 205 and change.
Disappointing effort from Chariota. Now, maybe she didn't like the softer going. The track course is listed as good, and I'd say it's on the yielding side of good. And we talked about it, Paul, watching the race together, and I said to you originally, I don't love that Dylan Davis is sort of sitting out in the middle of the track, and you rightfully said to me, maybe on the center course with the rain that we've gotten, you don't want to be down on the inside.
Yeah, we had an earlier race where the inside looked like it collapsed and the horses rolled from the outside. So I don't know if being on the lead or being on the inside of the turf course, at least on the inner, is the place you want to be. You might want to be rolling on the outside, and that's where the winner was. But most of the trip, but she was just much the best today with that nice little gray tail. Better gray on a somewhat rainy day, right?
Nice performance by this horse. Mark Hennig doing a good job taking over the training. Nice to see John O'Connor, somebody who's out here every day, or not every day, but many days. Nice to see him get the win. Semper Sententiae gets it done to kick things off. The Naira Bets late pick 5. More to come.
An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track. Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include multiple graded stakes performer Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, and stakes winners Taylor Spirit, He Hate Me, and Sunset Ridge. In the ring, his yearlings have brought prices up to $220,000. Algorithms, standing at Clayton Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live. Nice scene of the backstretch here at Belmont Park. It's nice to be back at our summer and fall home at Belmont Park. Want to remind people, before we head down to the winner's circle, Los Al will be running until they head back to Santa Anita. The early pick 4, a 20% winner's bonus offered through NyraBets. Just one of the many things offered at NyraBets. Head to nyrabets.com for more information throughout the meet. Nice to see a happy winner's circle celebration. Dylan Davis and Mark Hennig getting the job done. Semper Sententia in her second start. An easy winner, Paul.
Yeah, great job by Dylan. Great job by Mark Hennig. This is a daughter of the Factor. I have a German mare, Sudamith. John O'Connor, you're talking about, and Dylan Davis. That double comes back pretty good, $17.70. Bo Bell and Sharita, they round out that try. That comes back $19.87.
A whole 87 cents. Maggie Wolfendale standing by in the winner's circle with owner John B. O'Connor.
That's right, Andy, and kind of a family affair with Semper Sententia, as John, your wife, also bred.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Anastasia's been breeding now for about 15 years, and both of the horses in this race reflect our strategy of taking classic continental European lines on the mare side with American speed on top, and it seems to be effective.
Now, you're kind of the only American breeder that I've seen really tap into the German breeding market. Where'd that idea come from?
Well, I can blame this on Alan Jerkins about 15 years ago when we were sitting around. And he said, you know, what I'd do if I were younger and had more money is I'd go and buy some of these continental lines in Germany. And so we did. And the first foundation mare was actually bought from the East German government before the wall came down. And from what was then the training center for the East German Equestrian Olympic team.
That is incredible.
But they maintained a stud book intact throughout the entire period of communist dictatorship, and were immediately entered back into the thoroughbred stud book upon the wall coming down. Small, little facts of history.
That's really incredible and an excellent story. I'd like to dive deeper into that.
The scientific thinking was these are horses which had sort of never been exposed to corrective surgery or medication for several generations. And so we figured we could get some of the benefits of their strength and then try to bring that into more Western speed.
Well, you can definitely see it with Semper Sententia, and she was pretty impressive going the 1.25 miles in only her second start. Talk about her performance today.
Well, we're delighted. Her first start was troubled, but we were confident. Her half-sister just won a stake in Europe at 2 miles against colts. So distance is not our issue. We're always searching for speed on the top side, and that's the challenge. So we feel really good about her and some of her stablemates.
Well, John, congratulations with her. Looks like, though, you have a fine turf router on your hands.
All credit goes to the breeder, Anastasia Christensen-Croy. She is the sine qua non of our stable.
And you're a very good husband, always giving credit to your wife.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, this guy is very smart.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks a lot, Maggie. That was a great interview. Love that. A lot of informative stuff there. Nice to see John O'Connor and Anastasia do really well with the horse. They're regulars here at Belmont. Nice to see our regulars do well.
What did he use for as a stable? The scenic what?
Paul, don't ask me any questions.
That's what you are to our show.
That was pretty good. Race number 7's coming up, and of course it kicks off the late pick 4 here. An interesting field of 6, actually, and they'll be going, I believe, 6.5 furlongs, the official distance, the unofficial distance of the New York Racing Association on the dirt, 6.5 furlongs. And Paul, any thoughts on this race?
Well, couple thoughts. Professor Snape I thought would get bet from the rail because with the scratches in this race, especially Full Salute on the outside, there's really no true front runner, maybe besides Happy Farm. So maybe a lot of people are gravitating maybe that the 1 could steal this race. So that horse is getting played. I'm surprised the 5 is the favorite. I'll tell you that. I like the David Donk runner, but the horse should not be 2-1 right now.
Well, we'll see how the pace plays out, and I agree. The 1 and 3, the inside 2, Professor Snape and Happy Farm, appear to be the speeds. Up at Saratoga, big news here. The track may have closed on Monday, but on Tuesday, the groundbreaking for the 1863 Club groundbreaking. More on that when Belmont Park Live continues.
the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back there in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The three of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
How do New York breds perform? They win in world-class company. From Grade 1 races in Dubai, where New York-sired New York bred Mind Your Biscuits won the Golden Shaheen for a second time, to Belmont adding to his status as the richest New York bred with a close second in the Met Mile. The Belmont Festival saw 2 more New York breds become millionaires, 4-star Crook in the New York Stakes, and world record-setter Disco Partner with a repeat victory in the Jaipur. New York breds, get with the program.
The 1863 Club will mark another major step forward in our efforts to enhance the guest experience at the Saratoga Racecourse. It's my pleasure to welcome you today to ceremonial shovel parting the ground.
We have 325 days until opening day. No attention to detail will be overlooked during this project.
It's a 3-story building, 36,000 square feet, modeled after and designed to mimic a 155-year-old national landmark.
This building will represent the very best of that tradition, providing a modern experience and providing stewardship to the historical resources that make Saratoga unique.
This will be a venue that can be used for hospitality throughout the year. No other theme park, no other venue will come close to it.
Nice things, see things moving forward at Saratoga. The new stretch area, very popular this year. The 1863 Club, open in 2019, back to Belmont Park Live. Andy Sterling joined by Paul LaDuca, Maggie Wolfendale as well. Paul, looking forward to getting back to Saratoga already.
Yeah, I feel like Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler. I need to go to the batting cage. 324 more days till Saratoga.
Yeah, some people are probably already counting down. You're not the only one, but it's nice to be back at Belmont Park. We had a stake race earlier in today's card. The Allied Forces was run, and I got to tell you, the Allied Forces, it looked pretty competitive on paper. It turned into a one-horse show, Paul.
You're right. To be honest with you, I bet dirty. I was right on it with you. World of Trouble was dynamite in the quick call. I thought Dirty was just as good. He broke through the gate early, but today World of Trouble proved he was just best. I mean, he loved the surface again today. He laid off the pace. I thought Dirty was okay. He was just second best. Actually, Dirty was good because he was second best by about 10. But
this horse was impressive.
This horse was the real deal. And now, you know, Mr. Dub and Madacat.
Turf sprint, right?
Yeah, I mean, 2 for 2 on the turf. Why not?
You know, and I'll tell you something else. He's obviously has an affinity for course that has given it. Yielding in Saratoga, good to yielding here at Belmont Park. They might not have to worry about how he handles a firm turf because with the Breeders' Cup turf sprint, and it's, by the way, it's 5.5 furlongs this year. It's not 5 furlongs. And he won at 5 in Saratoga. The course is not going to be super firm in November at Churchill, so there are some good turf sprinters out there, but this horse is good.
You make a good point at 5 furlongs. And by the way, we were talking about a sire the other day called Chamberlain Bridge. He won one of them at 5 furlongs. We were wondering where he won his big race. But 5.5 furlongs is a big difference. And you have a horse like this that's lightly raced, and also a 3-year-old. And I keep saying this to everybody, they peak at this time, and 3-year-olds going in the Breeders' Cup, they're dangerous in every race.
And he's an unusual horse as we're looking at him shoeing. Joe Campbell shoeing, I believe, the #1, Professor Snape, down in the paddock, Paul.
Tell you what, is the farrier, he's been there forever. 40 years, 30-some odd years, 40 years, up there.
Amazing.
Up there.
Tremendous job, and one of his most important jobs, many important jobs at the racetrack. That's one of them. The cross-country pick 4 coming up. 2 races from Kentucky Downs, 2 races from Belmont Park. Jockeys heading out, one of the most unusual race courses in America, the most European of all courses. Plenty more action coming up as Belmont Park Live continues in a moment.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warthrop. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 mile at Keeneland, then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. His runners include stakes winner Stardoza, along with a growing list of talented young runners. At public auction, his yearlings have sold up to $200,000. Data Link, standing at Claiborne Park.
You're watching Belmont Park Live, but a lot of action coming from both Belmont Park and Kentucky Downs as well. Kentucky Downs, of course, in the western part of Kentucky. Actually, a very, very interesting track in Franklin, Kentucky, actually. An interesting track, a very European layout. You've got some uphill and downhill parts, and kind of interesting turn, a wide turn. As you watch the horses in the stretch, you'll think the stretch is over and you're about halfway home. We're offering a cross-country pick 4 through Naira Bets, races 6 and 7 from Kentucky Downs, races 8 and 9 from Belmont Park, 6 from Kentucky Downs, 8 from here, 7 from Kentucky Downs, and 9 from Belmont Park. That's the cross-country pick 4 as we head down to the paddock to Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Andy. And just a brief note here with #1, Professor Snape. He is the one who had the shoe repair to his front right foot, as we'll take a look at number 6, Fire Mission, coming in from out of town. Always a little tough to trust Penn National form, but look, this guy comes in for Jorge Navarro, who can certainly win with a horse here coming from anywhere. And his numbers add up as far in regards to facing this field. He is a horse that carries his weight well. Very quiet here in the paddock. Don't know if that's typical for him, though most of these Navarro shippers, they do tend to act that way. They're very docile, almost listless, if you will, as far as their energy is concerned. Then they get out there and run very, very fast. So we'll see what Fire Mission can do here, but he certainly fits with this grouping here based on physicality. Moving on to number 3, Happy Farm, whereas Fire Mission is nearly one of the only horses not to be coming first off the claim, but Happy Farm for Charlie Baker, I always feel that he's a bit dangerous here, and Horacio De Paz does a great job. But Happy Farm was kind of off a little bit of a layoff last time, and to me just looks 10 times more fit, more defined here, and I would think that we could see a better offering from him here today, as he is back against some foes that he met last time, Andy.
Thanks a lot, Maggie. Well, an interesting 7th race coming up. And once again, of course, it kicks off that late pick 4 here at Belmont Park, 6.5 furlongs. Last time Happy Farm, Spartiatus, hooked up with Bolita Boys, they all had sort of different trips. But the question is, and you mentioned before with He Looks the Part, the 5 being the favors, we're looking at that one. 2 to 1 on this horse. Is that too short a price? Is he going to get enough pace?
Yeah, the worry about the 5 is you have Spartiatus and you have Bolita Boys, right? He could be behind them 2, 1. 2, he's 8 now. He got claimed 3 back, and you can argue, okay, his last race was good. But that was a 7-horse field where he ran up into the pace that was pretty fast for going 7 furlongs on that kind of day. I think he's a very vulnerable favorite. I think you have to use him. But the worry is where does the pace come from? Do the 1 and 5, 1 and 3 really go at it in here? And if they do go at it, do they really go at it that fast?
Well, that's really the question mark, and that's one of the reasons I kind of like the 3 Happy Farm. Now, as mentioned, Spartiatus the 2, the 3 Happy Farm, and the 7 Bolita Boys all met up last time. They finished relatively close together, but Bolita Boys, the 7, today's race, ended up finishing second that race. But to me, he had the best trip of all, scooting up the rail under David Cohen.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, still crazy won that race. Now, you could argue, okay, the horse bobbled at the start and whatever, but after that bobble was able to save ground, and it might have helped him because they went so fast. And Andy's right. I mean, you're right. The horse rolled up the rail and saved all the ground. And you can look 3 back when the horse in the Rudy Rodriguez barn was, what, a neck behind the 5. So, you know, 7 to 1 to 2 to 1. Bolita Boys and the 5 should not be that far apart. Let's put it that way. They have the same horse, basically.
It does bother me, the Bolita Boys, the 2 race for Robertino Diodoro from a Beyer speed figure standpoint have been considerably slower than they were when Rudy Rodriguez had them. Well, Naira Bet's the way to go. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, no better time than the present to be signing up for Naira Bets. Right now, we're offering you a special bonus. Bet $200, get $200 at Naira Bets. Visit NairaBets.com for much more information. Use promo code Belmont Live to earn the $200 bonus. Horses heading out to the track for the post parade for race number 7 in the 6-horse fields. And you brought it up, Paul. It can be a little tricky because you just don't know how they're going to be run. I agree with you. I think Professor Snape has to go from the rail. Javier Castellano's already got 6 wins so far at Belmont in just a day and a half of racing. He's making all the right moves. But Happy Farm's pretty quick as well as they head out to the racetrack. The 1, Professor Snape, Jeremiah Englehart, claimed, off the claim actually for Jeremiah, Javier Castellano.
Yeah, and this is Son of State Thirsty that should show speed. Has not missed the board in all 7 tries at Belmont Park.
The number 2, Spartiatus, also off the claim, this time for Chris Englehart and Mike Rapoli, Rajiv Mirage.
2 for 11 last 2 years, 0 for 5 at Belmont, and look for him late. He should be rolling if there's some pace.
Also off the claim, the 3 Happy Farm, Charlie Baker, Manny Franco has the mount.
You know, tough read, but I think this horse will show some pace and can probably rate off the 1. I like Happy Farm as well, as you do, Andy.
The number 5, He Looks the Part, David Donk and John Velasquez.
Maybe a tiny bit overbet. I understand that you have to use. David Donk had a tremendous Saratoga meet, and this horse does have a win at Belmont, but can he run back-to-back tops at age 8?
Saw a horse win from Penn National on yesterday's Belmont card. The 6 Fire Mission won there last time. Jorge Navarro and Eric Cancel.
Yeah, 50 cents on the dollar. You see a lot of asterisks again, next to the odds. This horse been favorite, and he's 8 too. A lot of veterans with a lot of wins in this field.
The number 7 is Bolita Boys. Robertino Diodoro trains this horse. David Cohen has the mount.
Another oldster, 7. He's 0 for 7 this year, and he likes to do his running late. There's a couple in here that like to do their running late, so that could give the advantage to the 1 and the 3 here.
We're on the dirt for race number 7, but we'll be on the turf for the rest of Belmont Park Live. Race number 9, Eloise finally got to the winner's circle last time out. John Velasquez has the mount back. He won with David Donkener last time, kept her close to the pace. Eloise, one of the major players in race number 9, as Belmont Park Live continues here on MSG+.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's Belmont Park Live, but we've got action from Kentucky Downs as well. The first leg of the cross-country pick 4, race number 6, the Kentucky Downs Juvenile Turf Sprint, 6.5 furlongs, and the 2 Chattel, a winner of a Skidmore up at Saratoga, and the 10 Moonlight Romance broke her maiden, I should say, at Belmont Park before getting left in the gate at Royal Ascot. They feel like the 2 main players, Paul.
Yeah, they are the 2 main players, and cross-country pick 4, it's tough today. I mean, like, I thought you had to use many in there. Now, did Chattel get helped out by the soft ground or not? We talked about, and you talked about, how it's the most undulating and the most interesting course and you'll find in North America, besides the downhill course at Santa Anita, but it's still much more different than that. And maybe Chattel will like it.
No, it's a fun course, and they're fun races to watch. Maggie Wolfendale, she's always got a lot to report on. Professor Snape, Maggie.
And Andy, he was bad last time. I realize that. But he does go out here for Jeremiah Engelhardt, who just feels as though his barn's firing on all cylinders, picking up Javier Castellano, who is also doing the same thing. And just watching this horse warm up, he really moved nicely. Now, maybe, you know, he's heading in the wrong direction. But based upon what I've seen from him here today, I wouldn't be surprised if Jeremiah can get him, well, at least rounded back into form a bit here and resurrect him a bit more. And 2, definitely has an affinity for this Belmont Park strip and definitely didn't like Saratoga. That's one feather in his cap.
No, I agree, Maggie. It's one of these situations where you just sort of hope that you didn't like it up in Saratoga. It's hard to really know because he did not run well. Javier's got to be aggressive from the inside. Spartiatus, the old pro, thought he had some traffic in the stretch last time. There's an argument that he should have finished second.
Yeah, there is an argument. He did have some issues. You know, you really have like the 4 oldsters going against the 2 youngsters. You have the 2 here at age 8, the 5 at age 8, the 6 at age 8, and the 7 at age 7. You have the 1 and 3 at age 4. And what do they have in common? The 1 and the 3, the youngsters have the speed, and the oldsters are going to wait around till the end. It's going to be very interesting who sits in that 3rd position, because that horse is going to have a giant advantage because of the horses I was talking about. Professor Snape, he looks the part. Fire Mission and Bolita Boys, they all got very good kick. It looks like Fire Mission will be sitting in that perfect spot in the 6th, and that horse is probably going to have the advantage.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. If you want the horse sitting 3rd. Now, I don't think either one of us are huge fans of his chances, but he could be in the garden spot, and we'll see if they end up hooking up front, and that's part of the question. Happy Farm. Is he going to try to blast out Manny Franco and get ahead of Professor Snape?
I think he might. I think he might have to. I think he might have to get in front. And Professor Snape has rated before, so if I'm Manny, I'm trying to get to the front.
Well, we'll see if it works out that well. They're loading into the gate. Let's head upstairs to the voice today of Belmont Park this weekend. John and Brielle.
Bolita Boys, the final one to go in. Field of 6, going 6.5 furlongs. And they're off. And Happy Farm comes out, and he's joined quickly by Professor Snape, and Professor Snape goes on with it. Professor Snape is the leader, with Happy Farm racing in 2nd. Spartiatus is next in 3rd. Bolita Boys on the outside runs in 4th. Then it's Fire Mission next in 5th, and he looks the part. Trails the field in 6th. Professor Snape goes on with it, opening up a 4.5 length lead after 1/4 and 23 seconds. Happy Farm is in 2nd. Bolita Boys on the outside in 3rd. Spartiatus down at the rail. Then Fire Mission, and farther back, he looks the part. Midway around the far turn, Professor Snape in front. The lead is down to 2 lengths. Happy Farm gains ground. Bolita Boys gains ground. The 2 of them now right alongside of Professor Snape, and the 2 of them have now passed Professor Snape. Just in behind the front runners, Fire Mission, who now tips to the outside for the run into the stretch. The half was running 46-1. On the extreme outside, it's Fire Mission, who has now taken over the lead. It's Fire Mission in front as they come down for the 16th pole. Fire Mission in front by almost 3. Then Bolita Boys, it's Fire Mission to win it here, and Fire Mission, an 8-year-old gelding. Earlier today, we had Turco Bravo, a 9-year-old gelding. Bit of a senior citizen day here at Belmont Park.
Paul, you essentially had the right idea. He didn't sit 3rd, but he sat 4th. Fire Mission, Eric Cancel, and Jorge Navarro, you cannot get a better trip as he easily wins race number 7.
Yeah, really run race as the one sort of ran off, and then I don't know if everybody caught Javier Castellano by surprise because Professor Snape had something left.
Weird.
Yeah, the 3 went by him, and I think the 1 went right by the 3, but no doubt about it. Fire Mission, you're right. Eric Cancel had him in the right spot, and he just went right on by. The track is starting to speed up a little bit because it's a tiny bit of windy out right now, and it's drying out the track. Bolita Boy showed some speed today, and
he ran well.
Was right on the pace. Yeah, he did run well. Again,
he looks the
favorite with the 5.
He looks the part. Never got involved at all. I mean, he made a little clunk up for 3rd, but he was never involved. But Eric Cancel, Jorge Navarro, often in the right spot, but Eric gave him a perfect ride to get things done in race number 7. Kicks off the late pick 4.
Yeah, and this horse at 3-1 is going to play okay, considering that the 5 got played and the 3 got played. This horse is 3rd choice. And there's no slight against Eric Cancel, but you're going to get extra points when you get a rider like him. But he's been riding hot of late, and you know why? He's been putting his horse in the race a little bit more. And you know, sometimes guys can get in slumps, but it seems like to me he's starting to get on a little bit of a hot
agree.
streak.
I think that's one of the things, the difference we have seen with Eric Cancel. We saw it in Saratoga. More aggressive. When he was successful a few years ago, he's aggressive. He got away from those tactics. He's gotten back to them, and it's nice to see him back in the winner's circle. There's still so much more action to go here on Belmont Park Live. Outrageous Bet. A very tough beat at Saratoga last time. We'll see if she can be successful at 7 furlongs. That'll be race number 8, the second leg of the cross-country Big 4. Belmont Park Live continues after a brief message.
This proven son of Giants Causeway has sired 4 millionaires, including Claiborne Farm stallion Lee. Recent top runners include 4-time graded stakes winner Miss Sky Warrior, 3-time graded stakes winner Sharp Samurai, multiple stakes winner Bell Harbor, and Dubai Group 3 winner Shamal Nibraz. Last year, his 2-year-old sold up to $540,000, while his yearlings fetched up to a whopping $575,000. First Samurai, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Off the turn with a link to the half lead. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Dramatic finish. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com. Welcome back to Belmont Park Live. Andy Serling, Paul Aduca, and Maggie Wolfendale. Horses crossing the wire for race number 7 here at Belmont Park. It was all fire mission 880 for Jorge Navarro and Eric Cancel.
Yeah, you get all of that breakage, don't you? 18-time winner, the son of Wildcat Era, the pioneering mare. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Alan Michelle Crawford Racing. Congratulations, Eric Cancel. This horse is going to do well for you in all the exotics here as that pick 3 comes back $78.75.
Remarkable 18th win in 66 starts, over 7% of the time, getting the winner's circle. Nice start to the Naira Bets late pick 5. We've seen 830 with Semper Ciencie, but she was like the 2nd or 3rd choice. We've seen maybe the 3rd, 4th choice with the 6 Fire Mission. So not huge prices, but I think a great way to start it, and hopefully you're alive.
Yeah, and yesterday we didn't have much till we got to the last race. We had all kinds of favorites, and it came back $1,500.
I know, amazing payout. $200 to the pick 4, 6 to 5 shot added on the pick 5, and you got $1,500. Greatest value in racing. That'll continue through October 6th. The cross-country pick 4 this Saturday. Kentucky Downs race 6, juvenile turf sprint. Belmont Park race 8. Kentucky Downs, we're back there for race number 7, the grade 3 ladies turf, $500,000. And then Belmont Park race 9 on the turf for all 4 races. Paul, what are you doing in this sequence?
This is fun, man. So I thought this was a really great sequence. This is a tough race. Both of these races are 2, 5, 8, 10 in here. Chattel, I think it's the horse to beat. I am not going to leave Moonlight Romance or Life Mission off the ticket. Ben Colebrook. And I left May Never Know, the other Wesley Ward. Yeah, I ended up getting scratched. I'm sorry. But Moonlight Romance would probably be my top selection. 1, 3, 4, 8 here at Belmont in race 8. Now you got to go back to Kentucky Downs race 7 for the ladies turf. 1, 3, and 8 in there. I do think Betty G's the horse to beat just because Mike Maker wins there. And then 7, 9 in race number 9 here. The 2 horses to beat. I think Length the 9 will probably be your second choice, maybe your favorite in there. It's going to be very close, but I'll bet
race. Very competitive ninth race here. I like a horse you used in the lead for Shug McGay, and there's the field, the Kentucky Ducks Juvenile Turf Sprint. And I agree with Paul. I mean, we saw Shadow, very impressive, winning our Skidmore up at Saratoga. And I think, you know, there was probably a little bit of give in the ground that day, and you're going to have some give in the ground down at Kentucky Downs as well. Moonlight Romance, and she blew the break. I mean, imagine going all the way out to Royal Ascot and blowing the break.
Yeah, I know, and she showed so much talent when she won here in a canter. I think Wesley thought she was one of the better chargers that he was bringing over there, and she blew the break. So look for her to run a little bit better. You know, we'll show you the one. That's the perfect answer. Yeah.
Perfect answer will go out for trainer Cody Davison, ridden by E. Prentice, has the mount.
Yeah, this horse broke the maiden at Belterra.
Number 2 horse is Chattel, we saw in Saratoga. Brandon McFarland, Kendrick Carmouche with the mount. Number 3, Faraway Kitten broke her maiden at Woodbine Synthetic Bike Maker and Ken Ramsey. The number 4 horse. Number 4 is Sovereign Impact, going out for William Denzik, and Adam Bashiza has the mount. Number 5, we saw in Saratoga as well. This is Carter Cat, broke the maiden off the turf at Saratoga. Steve Asmussen, Ricardo Santana off a big Saratoga meet. The number 6, a long shot, Cardinal Coach Mac, Joe Sharp and Joe Rocco. Moving on to the number 7, Mine Inspector. Vicky Foley is the trainer. James Graham has the mount. The number 8, Life Mission, won a 2 for trainer Ben Colebrook, coming in from overseas. Florent Giroux with a mount on Life Mission, a maiden running at the Curra. The number 9, Blame the Frog, also for Ben Colebrook, first time on the turf. Brian Hernandez. And rounding out the field, last but certainly not least, the 10 Moonlight Romance, Wesley Ward and Jose Ortiz making his second trip this week down to Kentucky Downs. A lot of good action coming up. Always look forward to these races at Kentucky Downs. $500,000, the Juvenile Turf Sprint. Keep in mind, a Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint has been added to the Breeders' Cup menu this year. I imagine some of these horses trying to get into that race. Plenty of more action. 2 from Kentucky Downs, 2 from Belmont Park. Belmont Park Live keeps rolling along.
Eclipse champion Blame is having a breakout year in 2018. Among the nation's leading sires of stakes horses, his recent top runners include Fault, Maraud, Marley's Freedom, Beyond Blame, and Miss Kentucky. He's also making a name for himself internationally with French Classic winner Singman. And with yearlings bringing up to $350,000, this 3-time Grade 1 winner offers outstanding value. Blame, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Make no mistake, you're watching Belmont Park Live, but we're looking right now at a live shot of Kentucky Downs. We just left the number 10 horse, Moonlight Romance. And Moonlight Romance, Paul, she was extremely impressive when she broke her maiden back at 5 furlongs at Belmont Park in May. That was 5. This is 6.5. She blew the break that when she went out to Royal Ascot. she could be the controlling speed here, Paul. She's quick.
Yeah, she's very, very quick, and she just needs to get out of the gate. Usually more Wesley Ward horses, they don't get left, and it was a disaster at Ascot, but this was just dominating, and it showed, how good she was. And if she runs this race back at half this race, she's going to be really tough in here.
Yeah, it's really a stamina question. I mean, you've got her. She's less experienced. She hasn't run since Ascot in June, and you've got the 2 Chattel. Now, Chattel's won at 5.5 furlongs, and she's been very impressive in all her turf races, and she was, we'll take a look at the Skidmore. I mean, Paul, she crushed the field in here, and this was not a bad field.
No, it was a good field. Swamp Rat was fancied at least at the betting windows. This horse is a nose away from being 3 for 3 on the turf, but I like the way that he was able to handle a soft turf course. He's been able to handle a firm turf course at Belmont, another turf course at Laurel. So, I don't know. Everybody keeps saying, the number's inflated. I don't think so. I think this number's just fine. He ran a 72 before on the turf.
How many horses do you see win turf sprints by 3 1/4 lengths? I mean, I'm sorry. That was a dominating performance. As we see the horses are loading into the gate at Kentucky Downs, and it's fun to watch the races. And just keep in mind, if you're not familiar with the races, you're going to watch the stretch. You're going to feel like they must be near the wire. They're going to cut to another angle, and they're going to be around the 8th pole.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of time left. So don't get too overconfident if you're in front at Kentucky Downs. It's a fun racetrack to watch. It's a fun racetrack to bet. A lot of good stuff going on there. Leg number 1, race 6, Kentucky Cup Juvenile. John Lees has the call at Kentucky Downs.
The 2 fillies in the field from the outside stalls. And here is Moonlight Romance going in. They're off. Chatel began well one from the inside, so did Perfect Answer from the inside 2 stalls, and Moonlight Romance began beautifully on the far outside, showing good speed, making it look easy. She crosses over from the outside to take that early lead as they come here for the turn. Further back in the field, Far Away Kitten, and also Sovereign Impact has got good speed, actually takes off from the inside now, and Sovereign Impact grabs that lead. Further back in the field, we have Carter Cat, a good 10, maybe 12 lengths off the pace now, has just been passed by a Cardinal Coach Mac. Life Mission is back second last, and Mine Inspector trails a spread out field. They're coming around the turn now. Sovereign Impact took that lead and sets a strong pace by 1.5 lengths. Moonlight Romance is racing second by 2. Perfect Answer is now third. Chatel is right there in 4th. On their outside, Blame the Frog is now 5th and 4 lengths off the lead, trying to keep up off of the turn. Further back then to Far Away Kitten and Cardinal Coach Mac. They have work to do. Carter Cat tries to make an impression. And further back is Mine Inspector, and Life Mission is coming late too as they're into deep stretch now. Moonlight Romance has taken over. It is Moonlight Romance leading. Oh, one of them went down there, Chatel. One of them went down, Chatel fell. The leader is Moonlight Romance clear, and Moonlight Romance will not be touched late. Life Mission gets up for second. Moonlight Romance wins the Kentucky Downs Juvenile Turf Sprint. Life Mission was second. Sovereign Impact third. Blame the Frog finished 4th.
Did see an incident in the stretch. The number 2 Chattel appeared to have gone down. We'll give you a report if we get any information. But, Paul, it was Moonlight Romance. Jose Ortiz and Wesley Ward with the easiest of victories.
Yeah, hopefully everything's going to be okay with Kendrick Carmouche and Chattel there deep in stretch. Maybe clipped heels, something went on there. I don't know. It was really weird.
I don't even know.
It didn't look like anybody crossed over. We'd have to take another look at it, but take nothing away from the winner here. We'll get you as much information we can get for the Son of Giant Oak, but right now it stands 10-8-4.
Well, that's the first leg of the cross-country pick 4 from Kentucky Downs. I know that you're alive. The number 10, Moonlight Romance, much the best. Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling, Maggie Wolfendale will be joining us in a few minutes on Belmont Park Live.
Yeah, right? It seems a little different, Saratoga just over. You sort of like have that lull a little bit, but the racing's been good here so far at Belmont, and the weather's held up.
No, I agree. And it's great to be back at Belmont. It's just a little tough sometimes in Saratoga, and you come back to Belmont. But the racing, as you said, it's top-notch here. And one of the things that makes Belmont Park so great, the 2 turf courses, we can run so many different distances here. 7 furlongs in this case on the turf. And, Paul, not so quiet, man. Are you surprised to see this horse favored right now?
A little bit. This race was a tough race because you have the horse like Outrageous Bet, who was 2-1 on the morning line, but he's not a win machine. But a lot of other horses in here are not win machines, and that includes the 3. Ghost Giant was a solid win last time, but he's only a one-time winner, and now he's facing winners for the first time, which is the toughest thing to do.
And Outrageous Bet is favored in doubles, so the number 4 Outrageous Bet is going to be favored by post time. I got to tell you, I have some friends that needed Outrageous Bet 18-1 last time for monster scores. I mean, I didn't play the race. They told me their position. I wanted to cry when he got beat. What a beat this was.
Yeah, it was a bad beat. He was rolling late. He's just going to miss by a head. It's one of those ones where you're like you're just clicking yourself because you're in front.
Painful.
For like what, a quarter, about 10 yards, and you're winning, and then you're losing.
Not when it mattered for a lot of money. Maggie Wolfendale's in the paddock as we head down to that beautiful paddock at Belmont Park.
That it is here, Andy, even beneath gray skies. It's always beautiful down here as we'll take a look at the bookends of this field, including number 1, that is Jupiter Rising, for trainer Todd Pletcher, as he will make his first turf start of 2018, try to get things going, but it was rained off, sloppy, going a mile and 16th here. That did not work out well, and, you know, maybe something happened out of that race as well. As he does come back here, though, looking extremely fit and ready to go. He's been on the muscle. I like the 7 furlongs for him as well. I think it fits him down to the ground, and I think this guy could get back to some of his better races. We'll see, though. He'll have to take that move forward from 3 to 4 on the turf. Now, one that just graduated last time, that's number 8, Ghost Giant, but you can't really criticize his 2 turf efforts to date, despite them coming in state-bred maiden 40s. The races have been somewhat productive, and he is a horse that really can only judge him on his 2 last races against New York breds and on the grass. And he looks great here for trainer Jorge Abreu, who is a guy who lit up the, I shouldn't say lit up the toper, but lit up the standings, at least as far as new faces in Saratoga, and I'm sure things will progress and continue rolling for him as this horse once again looks great here. But guys, I have to admit that your current favorite, Outrageous Bet, looks great here in the paddock. Nice, calm, cool, and collect. I should say your likely post-time favorite.
Good catch by Maggie there. The current favorite is the number 3, Stop Squire. Maggie's right. The likely post-time favorite will be Outrageous Bet. You know, I just have trouble taking a horse, A, that just missed at 18-1 last time out. And no matter how you get around it, Paul, he might win this race, but 2 for 22 on a short price.
Yeah, you're right. 0 for 7 this year. There's other horses that have run some good races. You can argue that was his best race. Can he pop that right back? Does he get the pace to run into? Does he get the yielding course? He does get a little bit of give. I don't know. The 3, Not So Quiet Man.
I have a question for you about the 3, Not So Quiet Man.
Did he not take to the course last time?
Well, I worry about the give in the ground. You look at his good turf race last July at Monmouth, lousy effort. You look at his yielding course race at Saratoga, lousy effort. He might need a firm turf. I originally liked him, but when I saw the course was that firm, I wanted somebody else.
You see the owner on this horse, Liam Benson. We interviewed him as a trainer.
I think he has me blocked on Twitter. I'm not really aware. Really?
Didn't he win
kidding.
first time out? Like his first ever horse was like he won the Tyro.
Really?
Yeah, it was like 22 to 1.
Wasn't he at University of Kentucky? He was training and also going to University of Kentucky?
Yeah, something like crazy like that. And like, so he owns this horse. I don't know if he's ever trained, but.
No, he did train. No, I believe he did train. No, I think you're right.
They took the blinkers off the horse. The horse, I actually bet the horse last night. The horse did no running. I mean, was
But
climbing
I wonder
uphill.
if they were hoping for firm turf for him, because I think he's a horse.
Today.
When I looked at him, I thought, this is a horse I want on firm turf, and then, of course, we got some rain, and it changed things. I got a goofy idea in there anyway. I'm betting the 6 Robert. It's just as simple as that. I'm betting Dennis Laumann off the claim. I've bet him before, and they've worked, but he is going to have to improve. We're taking a look at the horses, actually, were the outriders that are waiting for the horse to come out to the racetrack, getting ready for the post parade. It's a very tricky race because, Paul, at the end of the day, I don't think you can totally trust anybody. And one thing about Ghost Giant, the 8, at least he's coming off for 2 good efforts.
No, it's true. It's true. The toughest thing to do in horse racing is against winners for the first time. But the 8 has completely changed form since changing barns and draws a good post.
But does have to get the 7 furlongs
yes,
today.
That's true, too.
Effective at 5.5 and 6. But 7 furlongs could be a different game. That's one of the great things about Belmont. While the turf sprints at Saratoga can only be 5.5 furlongs, here we can run 6, we can run 7. I love 7 because a miler can win at 7 and a 6 furlong horse can win. I think it really brings together the sprint and the routers as the horses are preparing to head out the racetrack. Race number 8 kicks off the late pick 3 here. Third leg of the Naira Bets late pick 5. Jupiter Rising, Todd Pletcher, and John Velasquez.
You know, Todd's actually got pretty good numbers, dirt to turf and route to sprint, and this horse. Last time this horse ran 7 furlongs, it was a winner at Belmont, and that was under the Mike Hushin care.
We're waiting for the number 2, Carmine's Honor. This long shot, Gary Contessa, same trainer as Outrageous Bet. David Cohen has the mount.
Yeah, really tough to endorse. The one turf start was not good, but 3 starts ago on the dirt was pretty good.
The aforementioned, the gray, not so quiet man, owner Liam Benson. Derek Ryan is the trainer. Javier Castellano still looking for win number 4 today.
Yeah, we'll find out if he likes a little bit of give in the ground again, because there is some cut today, but they're betting him at 2-1.
Number 4, Outrageous Bet, who will be the favorite by post time, Gary Contessa. And Dylan Davis looking for his 2nd win in Belmont Park Live today.
Well, 0-for-7 this year, but he did get close last time, and he was rolling late at 18-1 and had the lead with about 10 yards to the wire.
Number 5 horse, Vickers Legend, Oscar Barrera III. Louis Reyes has the mount.
You know, this horse is like 3rd or 4th race was his turf start, and it was not much, a 53 buyer, so 37-1 seems about right.
The number 6 horse, there's the number 6, that's Robert. Owner, trainer Dennis Lauman, Eric Cancel looking for his 2nd straight win.
Yeah, I can see where you're going here, because this horse at least has got the most wins in the race, 100,000 in the bank. So if the form can transfer back to some old turf form and sprinting, look for her late.
How about the speed? Winston K has the mount in River Knight for Eddie Pringle.
1-for-46.
Go.
0-for-26 on the Belmont. It's going to happen. When River Knight wins, there's going to be cake and candles.
Could be a double carryover. Double carryover the pick 6, but he is the controlling speed if he wants to be. The number 8, Ghost Giant, goes out for Jorge Abreu off that great Saratoga. And Manny Franco, another good rider, Saratoga.
Yeah, we talk about the Frost Giants. They really don't love the turf, at least first time out. But this one does. Won last time, and I think he's the one to beat, or the one at least that can track and lay in a good spot. We'll see if he can beat winners today.
As we head towards the break, Kentucky Downs, I believe there was an inquiry involving the 3rd place finisher, but no doubt about it with Moonlight Romance. There he is in the winner's circle. I imagine Ken Ramsey's somewhere down there, and trainer Mike Maker. Heading to the break, the first leg of the cross-country pick 4. It's in the rear-view mirror. Moonlight Romance got it done. Belmont Park Live continues in a moment.
Switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. Nice has won the Travers over American Flag. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice Ellis. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live. You're taking a look at Kentucky Downs, where they just completed the first leg of the cross-country pick 4. There was a disqualification from third to last, the number 4, who finished third, but 8-5 favorite Moonlight Romance, no doubt about it, the winner to kick off this cross-country Big Four, Paul.
Yeah, the blinkers came off. Kenneth Cineramsey, like you were saying, the breeder Spendthrift here. How about this? The son of Leeson out of a Malibu Moon mare, Envious Moon, gets the job done. This is a nice filly. Blame the Frog ran okay. Again, whenever we can find out anything on Chattel, hopefully everything's okay. And like you said, the 4 was disqualified there.
No, I agree. We do want to find out about the horse and the rider, Kendrick Carmouche, as well. And Moonlight Romance, you got to think Wesley Ward and the Ramseys are thinking about that new Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, 5.5 furlongs at Churchill Downs. We're back to Belmont Park for our 8th race, which, of course, is the 3rd leg of the Naira Betts late pick 5 and the 2nd leg of the cross-country pick 4, 7 furlongs on our Widener turf course. I'm very interested in the 6, Robert, and just very quickly, obviously, he would have to improve off of his turf races, though he can handle the grass. His trainer, Dennis Lauman's kind of a wise guy. He claims horses very rarely, at most 1 a year, but in the past, he's had a great deal of success with some oddball claims for low prices that he has done very well with. Claimed a horse a number of years ago, paid $128 off the claimed it for $7,500. Paul won $300,000 with that runner. So he's a dangerous trainer. For me, I'm just taking a small shot based on the trainer angle.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta do that. Like your opinion of this race is basically you don't really like anybody else.
I just feel like it's wide open. I don't mind taking a chance. And Maggie Wolfendale has an idea on Robert. Please, Maggie, tell me why I made a good bet here.
Well, he does have one turf win to his credit, Andy. I can't say or proclaim that I'm nearly as big as a Dennis Lauman fan as you are. You're his cheerleader by my records. But this horse looks great. I mean, picking up a New York bred for $7,500 at Parks, the economics make sense. That is for sure when he still has this condition left to go through. And he's sharp. He's well muscled. He looks great physically. So I can't blame you at all for taking a shot here with Robert. On the basis, on the flat surface of things, he makes sense here. But I'm going to try with Jupiter Rising getting back on the turf for the first time this year, guys.
You know, I'm always glad to hear Maggie have anything nice to say about a horse that I bet on, and she's right. I am the chairman of the Dennis Lauman fan club. Jupiter Rising, he might well win this race, and he probably has the best turf race of any of these. I can't trust this horse at all, Paul. His last turf race last year at Aqueduct was awful. Where's he been?
Yeah, the drop for 25. I had an old friend of mine, old trainer, a wise trainer, said when they pop down for that 25 or that low of lows, and Jupiter Rising just does not run, then they try to go back up and nothing happens over a sloppy racetrack. What's changed? What can truly has changed? And that does worry about the one. So now are they trying something different by sprinting? Is this their another shot before they drop this horse? I'm with you. I'm treading lightly if you like the one.
Listen, he could win. I mean, he's absolutely a horse you wanted to cover some there, but I just don't trust him. And it's funny, as we show the number 8, Ghost Giant, going to the gate, I mean, at least you can say with him, I kind of trust him. I mean, he's run well in both his turf races to 7 furlongs, the question, and winners as well.
He's got the upside, and he's going to be forwardly placed. I don't see him farther than 3rd or 4th in this place, and Jorge Abreu's done a great job. He had a monster meet, like Maggie was saying, at Saratoga. Went to 6 or 7 races. Sometimes assistants don't listen to their bosses. He listened to Chad Brown.
Well, just a couple of horses left to load. Let's head upstairs to today's voice of Belmont Park, the one and only John Imbrial.
Waiting on number 8, Ghost Giant, who takes that final position. And the entire field in line. We're ready for the start. They're going 7 furlongs on the Widener, and they're off on a bad stumble at the start there for number 7, River Knight, who has been taken to the back of the pack, now moving up a bit on the outside. Carmine's Honor is going out for the lead here, and Ghost Giant is racing in 2nd, and after that tough beginning, River Knight has now moved up into 3rd. Then it's the gray, Not So Quiet Man next in 4th, followed by Outrageous Bet and Robert. As they continue up the backstretch, it is Carmine's Honor with the lead. And River Knight now into 2nd. Ghost Giant runs in 3rd. Robert's on the outside next in 4th. Not So Quiet Man in 5th. Then Outrageous Bet in 6th. Followed by Vickers Legend in 7th. And Jupiter Rising is the trailer as they race around the turn. Big long shot. Carmine's Honor leads by a little more than a length. with River Knight, another long shot, racing in second, length and a half to Ghost Giant in third. Not So Quiet Man runs in fourth. Jupiter Rising has advanced that on the inside into fifth. Outrageous Bet on the move from sixth. Then farther back, it's Robert and Vickers Legend, the half, 47-4. They come into the stretch. Still Carmine's Honor there, but here's Ghost Giant now to come on and take over the lead. Jupiter Rising has moved into second. It's Ghost Giant with a 3-length lead over Jupiter Rising. Ghost Giant and Manny Franco about to get his third win of the day. Ghost Giant by 3.5 at the end. Jupiter Rising was second, then Not So Quiet Man and Outrageous Bet.
Late money show for Ghost Giant, 2-1. I believe actually the second choice there might have actually most money in the place pool, but it was Ghost Giant. Jorge Abreu continues where he left off from Saratoga, and Manny Franco. Manny's having a great day as well.
Yeah, we talked about this gelding having the most upside going into Jorge Abreu's barn, and Manny Franco was just sitting there waiting to push the button, and wow, when he pushed it, this gelding took off. Jupiter Rising ran a little better than I thought. Listen, they ran A, B, C, D here. All the 4 horses they bet. Again, no pun intended, an outrageous bet was a bad bet. You just cannot bet horses that like to run second and third too much. And you have horses like this that have a ton of upside with a change to a very sharp trainer.
I think it's something I've learned over time. Horses that are in good form, sometimes they'll run better. You think they're a little slow, but they're in good form as opposed to taking horses whose form is a little bit questionable. Now, I don't think either of us is going to tell you that River Knight was going to win the race, but the race was definitely affected by the start. You're going to see the number 7, River Knight, who's going to be the controlling speed. If not, he stumbles badly at the start. Nice job by Winston Kay staying on. He ends up stalking and collapsing. I don't think it matters at the end, but it definitely affected the early pace.
Yeah, it did. It gave a lot of people who had the 2 Carmine's Honor a lot of hope because the horse was traveling pretty good for a while, but then folded there deep in stretch when the 8 just took the heart right out of him. And you can see, you know, the 1 in here, Jupiter Rising, was up pretty close, but
got a nice ride, I thought, by Johnny.
I thought so too. I thought it was going to finish here. I'm surprised that the 8 was able to go away from the 1 coming out of those route races, but this one, it's got a nice little future.
Still alive in the cross-country pick 4?
Yes.
All right, number 8, Ghost Giant. Second leg of the cross-country pick 4. The third leg of the Naira Bets late pick 5. A lot more action here. We got 1 race at Belmont Park. We've also got a $500,000 stake at Kentucky Downs coming up. Stay with us as Belmont Park Live will continue in just a moment.
This successful son of AP Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including Eclipse champion West Coast, a multiple Grade 1 winner and runner-up in the $16 million Pegasus World Cup. This year, Flatter is adding even more stakes winners to his outstanding record at stud. In the auction ring, Flatter topped the 2018 Fasig-Tipton July Seal with a $520,000 yearly. Success on the track, success in the ring. Flatter standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live. Andy Sterling, Paul LaDuca, and Maggie Wolfendale. Nice winner of the 8th race here at Belmont Park. Of course, second leg of that cross-country pick 4. Third leg of the Naira Bets late pick 5. The 8 Ghost Giant, Jorge Abreu, and Manny Franco.
Yeah, congratulations to son of Frostshine on his Ghost Sapper mare, Fabula, Kingsport Farm, and Manny Franco, like you were saying. Now 2 for 11 lifetime. I would think that figure went up, and I would think they're going to try 2 turns here with his son of Frostshine, and that pick 3 wasn't that bad.
No, and I'll tell you, like, this horse is better than 670, I think, in both the cross-country pick 4 and the Naira Bets late pick 5. And, you know, you look at that sequence. I mean, think about yesterday where we saw the 3 heavy favorites all hovering around even money. Then we saw a $10 horse, $11 horse, and a big price in the last, and you got $1,500. So these pick 5s, it's a great bet, and the payoff's going to be strong. We had just under 100,000 in the pool. Just under 70,000 the cross-country pick 4, 520, 670. So not huge, but not bad. And a lot more to come. We've got a wide open $500,000 race, the Kentucky Downs Ladies Turf, as they're heading the track for that. And of course, our 9th race as well at Belmont Park, which is wide open. Race number 7, Kentucky Downs Ladies Turf, a grade 3, $500,000. And I thought it was a fairly wide open race. You and I saw the same 3. I know you used 1, I'm Betty G. The 3, Storm the Hill. I like the 8 in the Lee you used as well, Paul.
Yeah, in the lead, the 8 for Jose Ortiz and Shug McGee. This filly by Tappet was dynamite at Belmont in the perfect sting. I'm Betty G is maybe your speed in here. If somebody doesn't go with the 1 in here, she's going to be tough. Mike Maker's usually tough at Kentucky Downs, and then Storm the Hill, the California charge for Phil DiMato.
No, I don't disagree with any of that. The number 1, of course, is I'm Betty G. We're taking a look at her on the racetrack. 3 Diamonds Farm, Kirk Wyckoff. Tyler Gaffleone has the mount for Mike Maker. Number 2, actually, Bonnie Arch will be coming up right behind her, and she actually finished a reasonably close 3rd behind I'm Betty G when they met at Ellis Park in the prep race for this. Was actually a preview for this. She goes out for Ian Wilkes and I believe his son-in-law, Chris Landeros. Number 3, Storm the Hill, ships in from California for trainer Phil D'Amato. Nice win, 2 back. Phil D'Amato's had a few horses shipped to Kentucky Downs over the last few years. He's 0 for 3. Actually has not hit the board, a couple of 7th and a 9th place finish. But man, is he dangerous out in California. The 5 is Valadorna, trying the turf for the first time. Stone Street Stables, Mark Cassie and Florent Giroux. Number 6, Pas de Souci, Jorge Abreu, looking to win a race at Belmont Park and come right back and win at Kentucky Downs. Flavian Pratt has the mount. The 7, Halle Bell. I want to say Halle Berry. Halle Bell is scratched. The 8, in the Lee, Shug McGay trains. Jose Ortiz has the mount for owner Stuart Janney. The number 9, Insta Irmo's horse we saw run around here was sold, actually, used to be a Zayat stable horse, no longer the case. Richard Baltus, the trainer, Drayden Van Dyke has the mount. And we'll close things out with the number 10, Dubara. Brendan Walsh, Adam Bashiza has the mount. An interesting race coming up, 1 mile at Kentucky Downs.
That was well done. I'm gonna fan you down like Holly Berry would if she was in her room.
I've got Paul LaDuca, not Holly Berry. Belmont Park Live will continue at Belmont Park and Kentucky Downs when we come back from a quick break.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Long's got to turn with a length and a half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
A dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live. Kentucky Downs live as well, as we're at Kentucky Downs for their 7th race, Kentucky Downs Ladies Turf. The 3rd leg of the cross-country pick 4. Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling, Maggie Wolfendale as well. And Paul, one of the favorites near is the 3, Storm the Hill. 2 times ago won the Grade 3 Wilshire out at Santa Anita. Did not run well last time at Del Mar. Trainer Phil D'Amato. He hasn't had success at Kentucky Downs, but man, he tears it up in California.
Yeah, he's a very good trainer, descendant of the late, great Mike Mitchell, and he's a top turf trainer out in California. And Storm the Hill is dynamite in the Wilshire. You're right. 133-3. That's smoking over the Santa Anita. Now in the yellow ribbon, you know, he got caught between horses. Behind horses, had to go 4 wide, and when he made his move, he just sort of flattened out. Look for the 1 on Betty G to go to the front end, and then look for In the Lee, the other favorite in here, the 8, to maybe lay from off the pace, and then Brendan Walsh, the 10. Usually does well at Kentucky Downs. That'd be my long shot.
Interesting race. I like In the Lee. I'm not thrilled with the current 5-2. Storm the Hill a little bit chilly on the board. I'm surprised she is high as 4-1.
6 is getting better here, Andy.
Number 6, well, Pas de Souci finished right behind the number 8, In the Lee. So she's dangerous, and we'll see if we can get back-to-back winners for her trainer, Jorge Abreu. We just saw win a race here, so I don't think that horse is totally impossible in this race. They're loading in the gate. Track announcer John Lees has the call as we head out to Kentucky Downs.
They're all set. They're off to a good start in the ladies' turf. I'm Betty G. Bounced out alertly from the inside, getting out there towards the front, but nobody in a rush. The field stays together. Between horses there is Bonnie Arch. Valadorna with the Gold Silks is now taking 2nd. Pas de Souci takes a hold just off of the pace. Debarra is now passing her, taking 5th. In the Lee goes to the inside to save ground here at the top of the rise. Storm the Hill is now dropped back, and Insta Irma trails a very compact field. Controlled pace as they come down for the long sweeping turn now. I'm Betty G from the inside, has good position, and she's out here towards the front. Valadorna with the Gold Silks is just to her outside. There's 5/8 to go. In the Lee is now close up in 3rd, stalking in a good spot. Bonnie Arch has been passed by Debarra, now a close up 4th. Again, very bunched field. Storm the Hill down inside is eager to do more, and she's moving up on a hole down inside. A lot of horse here mid-race. Insta Irma, 2nd last, has about 6.5 to make up, and Pas de Souci is now the trailer. They're coming around the turn. I'm Betty G doing it well. She leads it comfortably by a neck, though Valadorna comes to put some pressure on her in 2nd. Debarra has taken 3rd. In the Lee's coming under a ride early to keep up. On their outside comes Storm the Hill. Insta Irma's making a big run, and she's coming on the far outside, so Storm the Hill and Pas de Souci. They're coming into deep stretch now. Insta Irma's putting in a big kick. She's coming up to Valadorna. These two going on from I'm Betty G. An 1/8 of a mile to go. Insta Irma and Drayden Van Dyke. Valadorna and Florent Giroux, these two tooth and nail, and it's a battle in the final 16th. Valadorna, Insta Irma, Valadorna, Insta Irma, and it's a 2nd stakes win for Baltus and Van Dyke at the meet. Valadorna 2nd, Pas de Souci 3rd, Storm the Hill finished 4th.
Hasn't run since not handling the going in the Distaff Turf Mile on Derby Day at Churchill Downs. Richard Baltus comes back 4 months later. Drayden Van Dyke. Nice performance by this runner. A nice performance by the runner-up, Valadorna, as well, Paul.
First time on turf for Valadorna, and wow, she ran amazing here. But Insta Irma, Drayden Van Dyke won 7 races about a couple of weeks ago in one day. He's been hot as a pistol, and Richard Baltus will get the job done. This mare by Pioneer of the Nile. Going to play pretty big here, Insta Irma, in your cross-country pick 4.
Insta Irma, a funny horse, really ran okay for trainer Belmont and the Zayats, but since she was sold privately, actually, in Medallion Racing, Premier Racing Club, and Richard Baltus, she's a much better racehorse. Good in California. Nice win here, $500,000 purse.
Yeah, Richard Baltus, very, very good trainer. I mean, he's good with his turf trainers. He's had a couple of good horses that he's claimed and risen up through the sprint ranks as well. So Big Mocker being one of them for $25,000, almost got the horse to the Breeders' Cup Sprint. So very sharp trainer, and he's already won 2 races at this meet, and that's another $300,000 in that horse's bank.
No, I agree. Insta Irma, nice win there. And Valadorna, of course, really took the turf. Valadorna is actually a half Complexity, who we saw break his maiden closing day at Saratoga, the McLean's Music. So we got a little turf for that one as well. A lot of options are out there. Race number 9, fourth leg of the Naira Bets Late Pick 5, the final leg of that cross-country Pick 4. And we hope you're alive because we just got blown up a little bit. Insta-Irma, solid price. Wide open, I tell you, Orquieta, the number 7. I was surprised that David Aragona made her the favorite. He didn't make her low enough. She's a heavy favorite right now, Paul.
Yeah, I think everybody's on the Jonathan Thomas train. So am I. I get it. And this horse is 2 for 3 at Belmont. And, you know, I think the horse is getting bet because of that. Now, length, the 9 was very good last time out since they've added blinkers. And, you know, when you look at the other horses in here, like Eloise was very good, too, as well. And Eloise, I know 1 for 15 at Belmont. That could be obviously her Achilles heel, but she's in good form.
I really feel like the difference with Eloise, and by the way, I understand the argument. You've got a horse at Street for 24 that's coming off a win. And these horses, they rarely win 2 straight. And I don't disagree with that philosophical argument. But I think the difference last time was John Velasquez because he did something that her prior riders had not been doing. He put her in the race. She has enough speed to put herself in the race. And John Velasquez took advantage of that going the 5.5 at Saratoga, put her in the race, and I think that made the difference. I like her chances to come right back with another win.
You can look at some of her races here at Belmont. The speed figures are a little bit better. And maybe she can be a little bit closer to this race. You know, when you look at maybe the 6 Violent Times, there's speed there. A lot of stalking speed. Not anybody really wants to come from way back. Eloise might be last by default because there is other horses that are faster than her, but maybe not.
I think Johnny's gonna get her into position that worked last time. Length is really a wild card in this race. I mean, is she a horse you just should have bet last time at 13-1? She beat Maidens, but it wasn't a weak field of Maidens at Saratoga. And I got to tell you, it was her only turf sprint. She was impressive, Paul.
She was very impressive, and every time I keep watching this race, you want to bet her. Now, there is some give in the ground, which we're seeing, but she showed surprising speed to me. I didn't think she would be up that close, and she was able to just sit right there and get the job done. You can see how big she is, too, and I think that will help her around these turns. This is a tougher field. The 10 is another horse in here, Kundre, that won off a long layup that you have to keep in mind. The horse is 3 for 8 lifetime.
I got to tell you, other than the long shot, the number 8 Banty's Girl, I feel like they all can win.
Yes.
And these are the kind of races that Maggie Wolfendale can be a particular help as we head down to the paddock.
Well, I don't know if I can be a help here, Andy, as several of these fillies and mares looked fantastic in the flesh. We'll start off, though, by talking about number 4, Majestic One, who was pretty disappointing in my book, though part of a blistering, I shouldn't say blistering, but a fast pace that collapsed, and Sister Sophia really capitalizing on that day. But for me, Majestic One, now she is 3rd off of layup despite winning her first race coming back. She looks better than she has in her previous 2 efforts. I really like her physically here, but the fact that she didn't run that well and kind of spun her wheels just a bit on that course up at Saratoga that had given it, well, gives me a little reason to be apprehensive about her here today. Now, a horse that took to it well is coming out of the same race in number 6, Violent Times, whom was part of that pace as well and stuck around, and she was 30-1, and I really liked her that day just because I thought that she looked like a turf filly as she was stepping foot on it for the first time. Aluminum Pad does come off here today, and she's actually a lot more calm. She was a little bit nervous up at Saratoga, which every horse has a right to be up there. So will she show the same amount of speed? We'll have to find out because she's a little bit more quiet here. But once again, I like her. I think she could be dangerous here again as we'll move on to number 10, Kundre, who Jonathan Thomas sends out your current favorite in Orchieti. But Kundre, I think, is really interesting. Now, her form would suggest that longer is better, but she came back off that really long layoff of nearly 2 years, 22 months, in fact, and got the job done. And I believe I talked to Jonathan before this race, and he may have mentioned to me that she was even working with Catholic Boy at one point. So he's thought pretty high of this New York bred coming back to the races. She's actually transformed. Since that day on June 22nd, she has put on so much muscle mass. She's really filled out. She's become a broader type of mare here. And her hind end is much stronger. So the turn back in distance, given her appearance here today, actually makes sense to me. So Kundre, I think, could be very dangerous as a New York bred who has won multiple times in her career. And guys, I know you both often think that could be dangerous as well.
Well, I think, Maggie, that's really valuable information because the question with Kundre is whether or not the cutback is too short for her at 6 furlongs. And listen, I know in her last race she was in front at the 8th pole, so some people would argue, well, why can't she win at 6 furlongs? Competition's tougher today, but I like the fact that Maggie is confident this horse will be okay going the 6 furlongs today.
Well, that's always the worry. Listen, what she did was hard to do, but her races here at Belmont have been good. 2 wins, 2 thirds. She likes the racetrack. She gets Manny Franco, who's been riding well. She gets positional speed. She gets a good draw. I like her. And Jonathan just seems like he's got the magic touch right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Kundre is very dangerous. We look at Orekieta, the other horse for Jonathan Thomas, who's favored right now at 3-2. And I got to tell you, this is a race, Paul, I wouldn't take 3-2 on anybody. This race is too competitive.
You can't take 3-2.
And she's been facing much weaker fillies than she's facing today. Not that she can't win, but this is a totally different scenario for Orekieta.
No, I get it. Listen, La Natural is it sort of a hanger, likes to run second. The Suffolk horses did well shipping into Saratoga. I get it. And I get that this horse is 2 for 2 or 2 for 3 at Belmont. But this is a difficult field. You made a great point before saying that every filly or mare could win this race, maybe besides Banty's Girl. I'm sort of with you. Majestic won. The race 2 back was pretty dynamite. And
I wish she had firm turf. You know, she's won 2 that might not have loved the give in the
last
ground.
time she ran, she lost all chance at start.
Well, she's 7-2 last time. Tonight, now she's 12-1, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
We're at Belmont Park, but we're just about finished with the action, at least for us, Kentucky Downs. Race number 7, the 3rd leg of our cross-country pick 4. We're taking a look at the winner's circle and quite a celebration there. Insta Irma gets it done. Richard Baltus, Drayden Van Dyke, a rider on a big upswing after those 7 wins you mentioned that one day at Del Mar. 1540 for this one, 3rd leg of the pick 4. And heck of an exacta, Paul.
Yeah, it is a heck of an exacta. Out of that good mare, Enchanted Woods Woodman, and look at the follow along. This is going to help the follow along big time here with Insta Irma with Drayden Van Dyke. So $520, $670, $15. And hey, I got the girl. Since I'm down about a lot of money, can I take the girl for $15 with the girl at the 1 and the 3 in an exacta box?
You know, Paul, I'm just not going to get involved in this conversation. I'm going to let you just take that as far as you go. Horses are in the paddock for race number 7. Seeing some instructions being given out, and that's got to be, that's not Jonathan Thomas, is it? No, that's got to be an assistant, but he's got the 2 horses in there. Manny Franco, not bad to get Manny Franco and Javier Castellano. Of course, Javier rode Catholic Boy, who won the Travers for Jonathan Thomas.
Yeah, you always wonder how that goes down. You know, like when the trainer's not here, or when they have 2 horses in each race, they want one horse to do one thing, one horse to do another thing, and sometimes a lot of these horses. I remember I walked into the jocks room in Saratoga, and I had heard. I go, hey, I heard that this 2 horse can run a little bit. I'm not going to say anything, you know, on air to the point, you know, if the horse is a rocket ship. And he's like, I haven't been on the horse in the morning. So a lot of times the guys haven't been on the horse in the morning, so they're getting the instructions for the first time now.
But how about 17 races so far at Belmont? Manny Franco and Javier Castellano have won 12 of them.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's pretty impressive. 6 wins each for those guys so far. And
Manny Franco keeps growing, by the way, doesn't he?
Listen, I'm a huge Manny fan. I like Manny personally, but I also think he's a terrific rider, very strong rider, and he's a thoughtful rider. I really think Manny has a huge, huge future.
Yeah, you know what? I think he's a little bit like reminding me of Edgar Prado, and I think a lot of people forget Edgar Prado's got 3,000 wins. Manny Franco's the kind of guy that where you look in the form, your horse ends up in that spot. I think he's that kind of rider. The horse ends up in the spot where you think the horse is going to end up in the form, and more times than not, that does not happen with your jockey.
No, I love Manny as a rider, you know, and you see him on those Augustin Stable silks, of course, that's such famous silks. So many horses. Jonathan Shepard, of course, trained for them for many years. Stormcat wore those silks.
Oh, wow, yeah, it's true. I mean,
no, I'm sorry, he was Overbrook Farm.
He was
I
Overbrook,
apologize.
yeah,
actually.
yeah. Stormcat, obviously, probably one of the most biggest influences in the breeding industry, but. Yeah, like I said, like Manny's starting to close the gap. Like, the Ortiz brothers and Javier Castellano had to be able to split the Ortiz brothers, like you said, I think to me off air, was a pretty big deal at Saratoga because he got off to a slow start.
No, he got off a great start. He won 10 races actually the
and
first week and 4 days.
Low,
yeah, but I mean, you know, the big start is very important, especially in a place like Saratoga where it's a relatively short meet and the guy's cold. There's 12 guys in the room that are Hall of Fame type riders. You're going to go to other guys, and there's our man David Donk. David had a great meet up in Saratoga, by the way. He says he's a weekday trainer. He's just kidding. Dave Donk can win any day of the week, every day of the week.
His horse got a shot here.
Absolutely.
Big show.
I love Eloise. I'm a big Eloise fan. And something I've talked to Dave about quite a few times, I really feel as though the riders haven't had enough confidence to put her in the game, and I think that's just what John Velasquez did last time, and I think she can win right back.
Yeah, you know what I love, too, is that he left her up there to train, and then he brought her down here. Leave her up there. She won. Give her a little happiness. She stayed up at Saratoga. She got a light little drill. Now she comes and ships down here and ships over the turf course. And you can give her some confidence. She hadn't won in a while, but she won convincingly, and she had been knocking on the door.
Yeah, she's a really nice runner, Majestic 1, of course. I mean, she does figure to be a bit part of the pace. As she has out the track, number 4, Majestic 1, David Cohen riding for Jeremiah Engelhardt.
Yeah, you know, figures to show speed with a better break. She really got off to a bad break last time.
She should be followed. There she is, the 5 Eloise, as we mentioned, trainer David Donk and John Velasquez.
Should in a good spot with that stalking speed and got the job done last time, beating a Wesley Ward runner in mentality.
Not 30-1 like she was last time. The 6 Violent Times, Eric Cancel and Ralph Nix.
Wow, bad beat if you had her at 30-1 first time on turf. Some good handicapping if you did, but today you got to take her at 5-1.
Orquieta goes out for trainer Jonathan Thomas and Javier Castellano, the team that had Catholic Boy.
Yeah, the last 3 times that he's rode this filly, 2 wins in a second, so that's why you're looking at your favorite.
Long shot Banty's Girl goes out for Eduardo Jones and Rajiv Mirage.
Yeah, tough to get to off the claim here off of Tommy Albatrani. Does have a win here at Belmont.
The number 9 is Length. Goes out for our friends at Claiborne Farm, Adele Dilschneider as well. Bill Mott, Dylan Davis.
Impressive first time sprinting on the turf at Saratoga last time. Can she do it at Belmont?
The number 10, that's Kundre, the other one for Jonathan Thomas and Manny Franco.
You did it off a long layoff, won a 7-furlong race, and now going to cut back to 6 furlongs. And Jonathan Thomas, like you were saying, 9-2, so right on that morning line.
Wide open race, the number 7, Orquieta, 8-5 right now. I do want to remind people, by the way, our paddock reports, as always, are brought to us from our friends at Hillendale, where Curlin, Byron, and others stand. Hillendale Farms, Belmont Park Live continues.
Turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back there in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
How do New York breds perform? They win in world-class company. From Grade 1 races in Dubai, where New York-sired, New York bred Mind Your Biscuits won the Golden Shaheen for a second time, to Belmont adding to his status as the richest New York bred with a close second in the Met Mile. The Belmont Festival saw 2 more New York breds become millionaires, 4-star Crook in the New York Stakes, and world record-setter Disco Partner with a repeat victory in the Jaipur. New York breds, get with the program.
Welcome back. You're watching Belmont Park live as Andy Serling, Paula Duca, and I'm Maggie Wolfnell. And just moments ago, we saw jockey Dylan Davis Pony Girl was able to keep a hold of length, but he came off, and he gets no cowboy points for having to get a leg up from the outrider. But still, everybody is reunited and good. And before that had happened, I had noted that length was moving probably the best of any horse in here. Just a really free, moving trot to her, just really floating over the track. So those are things you like to look for, and she was one that caught my eye last time in the paddock at Saratoga. She's going to have to step up her game here, I think. But at least she is a filly that may have found her home, whereas she's only had the one turf sprint. She's going the 6 furlongs here today. And again, Andy, it was over a course that had given it.
Kundray. Thanks a lot, Maggie. I just want to let people know, we'll give you, some payouts in the cross-country pick 4. Solid payouts when you consider what we've seen for prices so far. Obviously, it's over $4,700 with the long shot Banty's Girl. The favorite, Orchiette, $177 for 50 cents. That's pretty darn good. A lot of the ones, the others, are in the mid to high 200s, and then much higher when you're looking at Ella Weasel, $451 for 50. Actually, that's Violent Times. Excuse me. It's $247 for Ella Weasel. Paul, you like Orchiette? I want to talk about Orchiette, the favorite. Maggie goes the outside. The other Jonathan Thomas runner, Kundray. I like Ella Weasel. I just feel like the competition is getting much deeper for this filly, and I also think up front, I think they're going to be moving a little bit up front.
I don't want 8 to 5. I'll tell you that. I looked at La Naturelle. I get it. I like this horse. I like Jonathan Thomas. I like a lot of things he does, but I can't take this horse at that price at 8 to 5. When you look at Ella Weasel, who ran a decent race, the horse to bet at 10 to 1. I can't believe Majestic 1 is 10 to 1 because he has a couple races that can win this race, or Violent Times. The 6 and the 4 have run against each other. You see the 5 Ella Weasel. Put it all together last time, and if you believe in back-to-back, maybe it can happen. This is an interesting race. Like you said, besides the 8, this race could be run maybe 5 or 6 times and have 5 or 6
No, I
think
think this is a wide-open race. I love some of these turf sprints at Belmont Park, and it's a really interesting sort of mix-and-match race. You look at Kundray. I mean, Kundray's got to cut back. Maggie feels like she's going to be able to do it, and she has confidence in that, and I obviously respect Maggie. But this is a tougher field. When she beat Ella Weasel last time, Ella Weasel, once again, was too far off the pace that day, and she's not going to be that far with Johnny, I don't think.
So the last race isn't on the inner turf. This one is. Like, we saw everybody a little bit wider last time. I want to see if everybody's wider again today on this one, in this race.
That could hurt Majestic 1, who could end up being the inside speed. It's a very, very interesting race, and they're chess matches. We'll see how things play out because Majestic 1 has some speed, Violent Times has some speed, Orchiette has some speed. I imagine they'll be the first 3 out there. Length should be sitting about 4th. And you're right, Ella Weasel may show a little more speed, but I don't think she can be better than 4th or 5th early.
But that's what she wants, I think. I think Ella Weasel wants that, like, where she's not too far back and bunched because she wants that extra, that little punch.
Just don't fall too far behind.
Exactly.
Don't lose too much position because in these races, position can be so important. It just feels like just a very interesting race.
Yeah, and I think the cut in the grass, as a tiny bit of a drizzle comes down, might even help Ella Weasel.
We'll see if it does. They're loading into the gate. We've got a few more horses to load for the 9th race. And keep in mind, there is one more race coming up. Race number 10, a wide-open maiden special weight race for the 2-year-olds. We both agree Teachable Moment's the one to beat in there. But there's a couple interesting horses. A lot of good trainers represented. You'll be watching that on the Naira Bets app. You want to get that Naira Bets app. Best way to play. Use it all day long. Playing the Naira Bets app. Johnny I upstairs one more time for the call of the Belmont Park 9th.
Kundray moves into line, a field of 7, set to go. 6 furlongs on the inner turf. And they're off. And Orchiette broke well and is sent right out for the lead with Javier Castellano. Banty's Girl is racing in 2nd. Majestic 1 now advances at the rail into 3rd. Then it's Ella Weasel next in 4th. Length on the extreme outside runs in 5th. Violent Times is 6th. And Kundray is the trailer in 7th. Orchiette, the 3-2 favorite, leads big long shot Banty's Girl by a length. And Majestic 1 is on the inside of Length. Those two right together, 3rd and 4th through a quarter over the good turf in 22 and 4/5 seconds. Then farther back, it's Ella Weasel, Violent Times, and Kundray. And they're all chasing Orchiette, who leads here by a half length. Banty's Girl runs in second. Length is on the outside in third. Then Violent Times and Eloise. The half in 46 and 2. Orequiete trying to hold off these challengers. It's Banty's Girl, it's Length, and it's Violent Times on the outside. Orequiete digs down with the lead here. Violent Times is second, and Orequiete gives Javier Castellano his 4th win today. Violent Times was second, then Length, Banty's Girl, and Eloise.
Well, you know why Javier Castellano has 4 wins today and 7 wins in 18 races so far at the meet? Because there were 3 speeds of which maybe she was the 2nd or 3rd fastest. They popped the gate, and favorite Orequieta was in front, Paul, in the blink of an eye, wire to wire for Jonathan Thomas, the team that won the Travers with Catholic Boy.
And you made a good point, as in wire to wire, because a lot of times these days horses break on top and then everybody waits for somebody to come to their inside. Javier Castellano broke on top, went right to the rail and said, okay, I'm going to shut everybody off. He shut the other speed, the 4, off, and he made everybody come around. Now, obviously, the 7 does not like the whip. You can see he put the whip away because she started swishing her tail. Violent Times ran on, but she just had nothing to run into. She was 2nd best by far. Length was 3rd, and how about Banty's Girl hanging in there for the Super?
Yeah, well, it was a slow pace up front, and I give a lot of credit to Violent Times, who's supposed to be in front. She came from last under Eric Cancel to be 2nd, but no doubt about it, she was favored Orequieta, and she gets it done. The 9th race, the 4th leg of that Naira Betts late pick 5, 1 race still to come at Belmont Park. We'll take a quick break, though, as we will wrap things up on Belmont Park Live in just a few moments.
Once again, among the world's leading sires of stakes horses and graded stakes horses, Warfront has sired 8 champions and 8 millionaires. Recent Grade 1 winners include European champion U.S. Navy Flag and Lancaster Bomber, plus an ever-growing list of 2018 graded stakes winners. In the sales ring, his yearlings continue to bring prices well over $1 million. International Super Sire Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Betts.
Rushes out of there to take the lead.
It's easy on your computer or Naira Betts app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Off the turn with a length and a half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
A dramatic finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
One of the great sights here at Belmont Park is the Secretariat statue out in the paddock here, the beautiful paddock at Belmont Park. As we get ready to wrap things up in what's been a fun afternoon here, Maggie Wolfendale, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling coming to you live from Belmont Park. Orequieta, 4 wins for Javier Castellano, 2 wins for Jonathan Thomas, picking up right where they left off at Saratoga. She gets an easy victory on the front end to close out the cross-country pick 4.
I'm going to look up the stats, but the Suffolk Down shippers, wherever they've gone, have done well this whole summer. Congratulations. This filly by Harlan's Holiday out of the Aldebaran mare. What a sprinter he was. Corderosa. Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners, congratulations to them. That Grand Slam, make sure you have all those numbers, $7.60. When we turn the page, Valentine 2nd and Length was 3rd. We'll get to, oh, we're not turning the page. We still got 1 race left, but that pick 3 was about 69. So if you're live in the late pick 5, that horse is going to help you out a little bit, maybe.
And I'll tell you that cross-country pick 4, $177 for 50 cents, Paul. I believe it's twice the parlay. I'm looking at it pretty quickly. You got about $17, you got about $50, and you got, so about 8 times that. It's about a $400 parlay, and it paid about $700 for $2. $177.50 for 50 cents. Nice value in that pick 4. And Insta Irma, it's the only tough one to come up with, though. I didn't particularly like Orchietta, to be honest with you.
3 post-time favorites. 3 post-time favorites,
Yeah. Pick 5 follow along coming up right now, and you'll see, check those payouts out on the Naira Bets app. 830, 880, Sempre Sententiae, Fire Mission, Ghost Giant, and Orchietta. No big prices, but those pick 5s, they'll be A-OK. Teachable Moment might be the one to beat, along with the number 8 horse Current. Chad Brown and Todd Fletcher squaring off, but a lot of top trainers, a lot of nice pedigrees. Very good 10th race coming up, Paul. You and I are both interested in the 2, Malthiau, and I the 3, A Thread of Blue, as long shots behind the favorites.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the 6 a better proposition than the 8, and the only reason why I like the 6 Teachable Moment is that this horse ran an off-the-turf event on a good racetrack in 1:26.2. It was a very deep racetrack. I think this son of More Than Ready got a ton of fitness, like Chad Brown's horses need fitness, and I think Teachable Moment's going to run giant.
Could that be number 5 today for Javier Castellano?
I'm thinking it could be,
Looking to win his 8th race in 19 races at Belmont. And, of course, you want to watch that race, number 10 in the Naira Bets app. Great place to watch the races. You can download the Apple Store as well as NairaBets.com. I've got it on my phone. Paul's got it on his phone. Best way to play the Naira Bets app. You can watch those races, participate. You can watch at Naira.com as well. And always been fun and a fun day. Let's do it again tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
You ready?
Yeah.
Royal Delta tomorrow. Remember Royal Delta breaking her maiden first time out, closing weekend at Belmont Park back here about 7 years ago. So impressive. Now, Divine Miss Gray, who I felt was the horse to beat up a dead rail trip at Monmouth, believe she ran off the turf at Parks today, so she'll be coming out. Wide open field. Burned will inherit the favorites role for Graham Motion.
Yeah, and Burned, if I'm not mistaken, she just won her last time out.
She did Monmouth. She's never run well in New York, though. She's been in some tough races, but she's never run well in New York.
That's true. She ran a big race last time coming from way out of it. She'll be the horse to beat. But you're right, Royal Delta, man, that stride, you can never forget that big old stride she had.
An amazing horse. She really was. And Belmont did such a great job with her. And you think about her races, winning the Breeders' Cup Distaff as a 3-year-old, winning it again as a 4-year-old.
As a 4-year-old, yeah. I mean, he did tremendous things with a lot of different horses. I mean, you got to commend Bill from what he did, what he's done with a lot of different horses. And just to think about what he's done in the last 2 years with Good Samaritan and Yoshida.
I agree. Yoshida winning that Woodward on the dirt. Amazing. Never ran in the dirt before.
Unbelievable.
Heading towards the Breeders' Cup Classic. Well, it's been fun here. Of course, Maggie Wolfendale, I want to thank her for her great insights in the paddock as always. Paul?
We'll see you
Fun
tomorrow.
day, a lot more action.
Yeah.
Belmont Park Fall Championship meet will continue. You know what's going to happen one of these days? The sun is actually coming out of Belmont. It's so great here. Even without the sun, there's really no better place to be, especially in the fall at Belmont. I love fall racing at Belmont. So much good racing to look forward to, and so many things we saw in Saratoga going forward, and so many good races.
No, it's true. As long as it's not raining, we got turf racing. When you have turf racing, you have great betting out here at Belmont Park. That's just it, period.
I totally agree. A lot of good 2-year-olds debuting. Nice card tomorrow here as well. Thank everybody at Kentucky Downs as well, and thank you for joining us. Belmont Park Live tomorrow, 4 to 6. Check your local listings. Thanks to everybody for watching MSG Plus. Thanks to everybody here at Belmont Park. Belmont Park Live comes to an end, but we'll be back tomorrow.